4542 being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to prohibit the sale or distribution of all single-use plastic bags within the Town of the Pas, and to repeal bylaw number 4525 be read a second time.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? So just to be really clear, all plastic bags are now totally banned, which was always the intent of the bylaw, but it wasn't necessarily very clear, so we changed some wording to make it more user-friendly. Councillor Rock?
Yeah, I was going to say the reference to the biodegradable bags has been removed from the bylaw because it was causing confusion. That people thought it was part of the bylaw, where it was just a definition for the sake of a definition.
Right.
So it's not necessary to our bylaw. It's been removed, and that should remove the confusion.
Yes. Okay, any other questions or comments? I will call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Okay, 6.1.2, third reading of the plastic bag bylaw.
Moved by Councillor Gibbs, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that that bylaw number 4542 being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to prohibit the sale or distribution of all single-use plastic bags within the Town of the Pas, and to repeal bylaw number 4525 be read a third time and be passed. So this would make it formal and final. That is the new bylaw.
Yes. And this is a recorded vote. So Councillor Gibb?
Aye.
Councillor Forward?
Aye.
Councillor Rock?
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski?
Aye.
Mayor Scott?
Aye.
Councillor Commodore?
Aye.
And I am also an aye, and it is carried. Okay, moving on to item number 6.3, sorry, water and sewer rates bylaw.
This one. This me.
Oh, sorry, 6.2, fire prevention and emergency service bylaw. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm turning into Jim and skipping things on the agenda.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Gibb. Resolved that bylaw number 4547 being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to provide for firefighting, fire prevention, the related regulations of fire and other hazards, the adoption of the Manitoba Fire Code, and for establishing, continuing, and operating an emergency fire service to be known as the Fire Prevention and Emergency Service Bylaw, and to repeal bylaw number 4475 be read a second time as amended. And this is a change from at least 24-hour regular trainings of at least 2 hours duration each year to be held on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month, to at least 48 regular training meetings of at least 2 hours duration each year to be held on the first, second, and third and fourth Wednesday of each month. And the change in the discipline section of changing the Protective Services Committee to the Personnel Committee. Phew. That's tongue-tied.
Okay, any questions or comments on this?
Got a quick question about for inspections and that sort of thing. Is it normal?
Sorry, Jack, can you speak up, please?
I'm just asking about the inspection fees or the lack of inspection fees. Are we in line with other communities in terms of providing free inspections for fire inspections?
See, a lot of that we do more as a courtesy than anything. If we see that it's starting to provide more paperwork and stuff like that, we would look at it increasing the fee. We're just trying to get people on board because right now most of them, unless you ultimately have to, people don't do it. And we encourage people to get on board. I mean, you don't want to comment on that, but...
Currently, if we are supplying the form, there is no charge for it. If they're asking for a special form, as in from a Manitoba agency, then there is supposed to be a $75 fee attached to that.
Our big thing is compliance. We charge for it.
Okay, any other questions?
Okay.
Sorry.
If I may?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would just, I would ask that we perhaps just table second and third reading on this bylaw until we have our issues settled, so it's not confusing. We're working off of one bylaw with the things that we're doing. Hello?
Hi, sorry, quiet again. I think we're all just pondering for a second.
Okay. Yep.
Brian?
As I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the reason it was held up was because there was a typing error where reference to some bylaws being repealed that had already been repealed, I brought to the council's attention, so it got tabled. Otherwise, it would have went forward at a previous time.
But to suggest there's not issues going on with the fire department right now would be silly.
What's that got to do with?
To suggest that they're connected, it would, we don't even want to go there, because then
No,
it's getting into
agree.
another
That's what I'm saying.
discussion.
Let's just hold off for a few weeks.
Well, is there a second to
I don't see, Jim, it's Andrew, I don't understand how you see that the bylaw itself is connected to dealing with whatever issues are at hand. I think this needs to go forward, and I think the process that was identified for dealing the issues that are related continue as well.
I just think it's easier. We'll do what we do, but I just think it's easier to just hold up. It's not like we're holding up for a year or two, we're holding up for a few weeks.
Well, if you want to put the motion on the table, you can see if somebody will second it. You haven't.
Well, I would ask that we just table it for until we've settled the ongoing issues.
No.
Is there a seconder to the motion?
Am I allowed to second the motion?
Sure you are.
I'll second the motion.
Good, thank you.
To me, call the question.
We call the question.
Yeah, call the question if you want to agree with
Table?
tabling.
Okay,
or not.
so all those in favor of tabling the motion?
Of tabling the motion?
Yeah.
Yes, aye.
And opposed? 5-2. Okay, so we call the question for second reading? Okay. Okay, so I will call the question on the second reading for the firefighter bylaw number 4547. All those in favor?
Do I not have to?
She's still got the
Okay.
second reading,
Alrighty,
so
okay.
this was the call for the vote on these.
Okay,
Sorry.
so 5 opposed. Jim, are you opposed to second
I am
reading?
opposed.
Okay. It's carried. Okay, third reading.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Gibb, resolved that bylaw number 4547, being a bylaw of the town of the Paw to provide for firefighting, fire prevention, the related regulations of fire and other hazards, the adoption of the Manitoba Fire Code, and for establishing, continuing, and operating an emergency fire service to be known as a fire prevention and emergency service bylaw, and to repeal bylaw number 4475, be read a third time and be passed. Self-explanatory.
Okay, questions or comments? Okay, this is a recorded vote. Councillor Gibb?
Aye.
Councillor Forward?
Aye.
Councillor Rock?
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski?
Aye.
Mayor Scott?
No.
Councillor Commodore?
Aye.
And I am also a no. And it's carried. Feels weird to sign that, even though we voted against it. Item number 6.3, water and sewer rates bylaw.
Moved by Councillor Gibb, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4550, being a bylaw of the town of the Paw to establish water and sewer rates and to repeal bylaw number 4319, 4414, and 4425 be read a first time.
Questions or comments on this?
This was a result of the committee of the whole meeting where we had the longer discussions about the rates and the mechanisms used to generate those rates and what plans those rates are based on. And this is required so that the province can review what's been proposed and provide us with some feedback.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm against, and it's carried. Item number 7.31, Kelsey Trail Snow Riders.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Rock, whereas Kelsey Trail Snow Riders are producing their 2-year snowmobile trail map for the Paw. Furthermore, this map depicts There are 350 kilometers of designated groomed trails and a map displaying the town of the Paw streets and numbered blocks representing the businesses that advertise on the map, and it also shows access routes that snowmobilers can use legally to obtain gas within town limits. Therefore, be it resolved that council authorize the purchase of an ad in the Kelsey Trail Snow Riders Trail map in the amount of $500.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion on that? Brian?
I speak in favor of the motion because I think it's really important that we support a group like this. In the past, they put out a professional-looking brochure and whatnot. It promotes our community, it promotes tourism, and winter tourism is an important aspect of it, so it helps everyone.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or discussion?
I just want to say 350 miles of the best trails in the world.
Okay, thank you. I will call the question then. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Item number 7.3.2, Savmar Museum Board members.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock. Whereas in accordance with bylaw number 4443, being a bylaw of the Town of the Paw to authorize the establishment of a museum board, Part 5, Section 5 states, it is council's responsibility to appoint board members. Therefore, be it resolved that council appoint Connie Wyatt Anderson to the Sam Waller Museum Board for a term set to expire December 31st, 2017, as per recommendation of the Sam Waller Museum Board.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's carried.
Wonderful addition.
Item number 7.3.3, payroll and accounts.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chad Zawinski, be it resolved that council authorize the following accounts. General checks number 17135 to 17181 in the amount of $887,688.87. Payroll period number 10 in the amount of $96,391.87. KRC checks number 5466 to 5544 in the amount of $173,363.86. And the reason being it's so big is $594,000 went to the RCMP. Not just you, Lance. I'm sure you smell it.
Any questions
That's
or
why he's
discussion
smiling.
on that? Okay, I'll call the question then. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Sorry. Item number 7.3.4, street sweeper tender.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chad Zawinski, whereas an invitation to tender was sent out to 4 suppliers and advertised on the webpage for the supply and delivery of one 2016 new or used street sweeper. Therefore, be it resolved that council accept the tender submitted by Joe Johnson Equipment, Inc. for a new 2016 Elgin Pelican at a cost of $277,969.39, taxes included. And be it further resolved that the monies be expended from the machinery replacement reserve.
Any questions or comments on that? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Item number 7.6.1, proposal for request for closure of Grace Lake Airport.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chad Zawinski, whereas the Town of the Paw owns and operates the Paw Airport. And whereas the Paw Airport can no longer compete with the local airport being Grace Lake, as they do not charge landing fees, head tax, and other fees that the Paw Airport is required to charge. Furthermore, the province of Manitoba currently provides all maintenance and infrastructure improvements, thus creating a non-level playing field. Therefore, be it resolved that council request the province of Manitoba to terminate operations at the Grace Lake Airport.
Any questions or discussion on this?
As I stated last time, I think we need to sit down with Mississippi Airlines and Matthias Cologne.
Sir, I can't hear.
Yell.
Jim, as I said last time, we should sit down with Matthias Colomb and Mississippi Airways, right?
Yes.
And have a discussion about how this can go forward. I'm not sure whether that's, I've heard I don't know. I don't know if that's happened or not, but I think it's something we need to do.
It's on its way. It's not happened yet, but it's on its way.
The last time I was told it had happened, so I'm just curious, right? So, there we go.
Okay. Brian?
Is the intent of the motion to just send a letter to the province of Manitoba to terminate operations? Not knowing exactly if they terminated them tomorrow and said, okay, you're shut down, turn off the lights and lock it up, as a community, are we in a position to deal with any kind of fallout with regard to this kind of action? Because sometimes you be careful what you wish for. Sometimes it happens a lot faster than you expect.
We've been down this road 100 times. I don't know why we're still on the road,
But it would have, what Brian's saying, would have an economic impact on the community, right? Based on the medical flights going out of there. So again, we need to have some meetings set up before we go charging down that road, in my opinion. Because there'll be fallout.
Can I move that we amend the motion to say, therefore be it resolved that council request a meeting with the province of Manitoba to discuss terminating operations?
Because that's really what it's about. It's not, while the resolution says, hey, terminate your operations, what we really need is a meeting with them to discuss that topic.
Right, because we've had one with the previous government, and now we have
So
a new
can I
government.
make a motion to have that resolution amended to speak to that? Is there anybody to second that motion?
I'll second the motion. So do we have to
So now you vote on the amended
Okay,
resolution.
so I just added that council, therefore be it resolved that council request a meeting with the province of Manitoba to discuss terminating operations at the Grace Lake Airport. Does that work?
Yep,
Okay.
sounds good.
Any other questions or discussion on that? Okay, I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Okay, so I will move on to committee reports. Oh, what?
Can we now call the question?
Oh, sorry. I thought we
That
did-
was the amendment.
Oh,
So the question was the original motion.
okay, so can I have a motion, or, so I guess I need to
Amended
call
motion.
the question to accept the amended motion. Amended resolution? Yep. That's what I'm doing? All right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, none opposed? All right, so I don't have to change anything or scratch anything out. Good stuff.
Now you have to call the question with a question. Question.
Before it's amended.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but I'm going to move on to committee reports instead of doing that. So, Museum Board, Councillor Rock.
No meeting, no report.
Okay, Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Commodore.
Okay, now I thought I sent the minutes, but apparently I didn't. I sent them to me, but didn't forward them on to you guys. It was pretty,
Yep.
I'm sorry, I hate to butt in, but do we have an opportunity to comment on the minutes of the Pawtucket Rail Corporation?
Oh, sure. We could.
I'm just wondering, item number 2 on there says, town rep, what is their responsibility on the board failure to find out? Have we been contacted about this?
I believe Jen sent them an email back, yes.
Okay.
Maybe I could speak to that a little bit. I guess there was some discussion because as it turned out, it seems like the council rep for the Paw Community Renewal Corporation seems to always manage to end up on the executive. You were there, you were a treasurer, Andrew was there, he was a treasurer. I came in and they asked me to step in as treasurer. Sometimes that can be a problem just with continuity because we do rotate out. So it was a question that they brought up, as well as voting authority. Do councillors usually have voting authority on committees that they sit on? So like I said, I know Jen kind of got back and her response was pretty much like it's kind of up to the organization. Every organization usually kind of deems what the role of a counselor is on their board, and that was kind of, there hasn't been a conversation, I don't think, really around it yet, but maybe at the next meeting.
Okay. My only concern, of course, is that we don't want to be seen as our appointments to various boards throughout the community, that our appointment is all about getting quorum. I don't want that to be suggested.
Getting what?
Getting what, sorry?
Quorum.
Oh, okay.
You know, because we're there and we take an active role in it, that if we didn't show up, there wouldn't be quorum.
Okay. I don't think that was really the concern. Like I said, with them, it was more like, there's a turnover every year or so is it really beneficial, I guess, to the organization to have somebody who's going to be rotating out, sitting in an executive position?
No, it's a wonderful organization, happy to be a part of it, just don't want to be dependent upon being quorum.
Fair enough. Okay.
Sorry, Margaret, I interrupted.
That's okay.
Yes, you did.
Margaret, sorry, go on with your...
Okay, it was a very, very quick meeting. Our president, Lonnie Carvick, he actually resigned. He has just too much on his plate right now, which is understandable. And so we accepted his resignation with sadness, I have to say, because he was he's a good member of the Chamber of Commerce, but until he gets things straightened out or his life is not so busy, the offer is still open that he can jump back on board. We did the trade show wrap-up, and everybody was quite satisfied with it, and they continue to look at next year. Looking at the membership, the office lease, well, that's kind of up in the air yet. And Chuck Davidson, he's the president and CEO of the Manitoba Chamber of Commerce. He is coming here June 22nd, and we're having a lunch meeting at the Kikiwak. If anybody's interested, it's, I think, $22 a plate. And what else? Okay, the Sherry bottle funding email from Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries. They put so much money in every year for the bottles, and somebody must be collecting them because I don't see any on the street. So that's a good thing. The Manitoba Chambers AGM was held in Portage the Prairie, May 6th and 8th. Linda Marcus, and she's been there a few times, she knows the ropes, and Karen Lang, that was her first time visiting that, so she was quite impressed and learning the ropes, and that was the end of the meeting. It was probably one of the quickest meetings I've went to.
Okay, thank you.
Just next week with the president and CEO of the Chamber coming up, I'm going to spend a few minutes with him. He asked to meet with me, and I'm also going to be giving him a bit of a tour of the community as well as my workplace.
Okay. The Pawn Area Justice Network, Mayor Scott.
No meeting.
Okay, Sustainable Forest, Councillor Rock.
There was a meeting held, but I was unable to attend as I was away in Winnipeg at the FCM convention.
Okay. Citizens on Patrol, Councillor Zelinski and Commodore.
Yeah, we had a meeting last week. Pretty much business as usual. They've had the Speed Watch out a few times, and they actually lent the equipment for the Speed Watch out to UCN, and the law enforcement course did it a few times.
I saw that there.
I'm blanking on the girl's name, but they had a girl in for part of that party program. I don't know. They just had a dinner. They didn't do anything with the schools or anything like that. But I think other than that, it's pretty much business as usual. One concern that they did bring up was speed signs around school areas, which was actually brought up at another meeting I attended too. So it's something we might need to
I got this sorry, Chad, I can't hear you.
Speeding in the school zones and no signage. I don't know, that was one thing that I took out of the meeting. Anything I missed, Margaret?
No, that lady that you were saying that
Yes.
she was going to do is a talk to the high school kids, but because of the tragic incidents across the river with those 3 young people, they decided to cancel it. But this young lady actually lost both her legs. Had nothing to do with the same scenario, but this young lady had lost both her legs to somebody texting and crashed into her. So she wanted to speak to people of, this is what happens to innocent people, and and she's very proactive, and she wants, to save the next person.
And they are going to try and bring her back.
They're going to try to bring her
in the
back,
fall.
but, yeah, so.
Okay. The CDC, Mayor Scott.
We're meeting on the 21st.
Okay. Recycling Board, Councilors Forward and Commodore.
We haven't had a meeting since our last council meeting. We have a meeting this week or next week.
Next
Can't
week.
remember. Next week. I have to pull out my calendar, but we have one coming up here and report back at the next council meeting.
Okay. Councilor Gibb, Kelsey Recreation Commission.
Meetings next week.
Okay. The Paw Community Renewal Corporation, our meeting is on the 23rd, which is actually our AGM, and everybody is invited to the AGM. It's at 5:30 at the Visitor Information Center, and they're going to have a barbecue and a DJ and giveaways and a big party outside in the parking lot. So if you're looking for something to do or you don't want to cook that night, hot dogs for the kids. Library Board, Councilor Zelinski.
No meeting.
Okay. Joint Committee of Council with the RM, I believe Councilor Commodore and Rock, you said you guys weren't meeting until the fall, right?
That's correct.
Okay. The KSD Committee, Mayor Scott, Councilor Ford, and Councilor Zelinski.
You can get a report, Chad, if you like.
Sure. Mayor Scott and I attended that meeting. We discussed the snow clearing issue. That was the biggest one. Just brought back some information for administration with the town. And also, like I said, the the school zone signage and stuff like that was brought up at the meeting, and it's something that we need to delve into a little bit further. I believe that was the biggest things that we had talked about. Jim?
Do you have anything to add, Jim?
Well, just, that they, everybody wants to be number one on the hit parade when it comes to snow removal. They want to be the first ones. So we explained there's a process involved in that. Obviously, cleaning snow around the schools is very important. We had a brief conversation where there could be some mutual satisfaction in terms of garbage pickup and the use of an electrician, things like that. So it was actually a very good meeting, and they bought lunch.
Nice. Okay.
And no meeting again until the fall for that.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Moving right along, we will go to item number 10, which is citizens period. So again, there is an opportunity for anybody who wishes to speak to come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and say a few words. I don't see anybody. Oh, okay.
Ron Morwood, 744 Gaylor. I just have to compliment Deputy Mayor Marsh and the rest of council. I think, like I said, I was on the other side of the fence for years, and I think the way you ran your meeting tonight and your discussions was very, very good. I disagree with one of your decisions, but the way you ran your council meeting, I think was very good, and that's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ron.
Does anybody else have anything that they would wish to say? Going once, going twice, and gone. I will ask for a motion to adjourn. All right, motion to adjourn.